I want to be able to draw it. Really upset, I just filmed this whole thing and realized that I'd done so in slow motion, publicly on a racing track. Result was my pride and joy of this year. That I've let anxiety and self-doubt get to me. Hello creative travelers and welcome back to another video. I just realized, because of course I've been filming this intro a couple of times already, I can never fix it in the first try. But I realized I always say welcome back. I never invite new people to this. So my name is Frederike. I am the face behind A Traveler of Worlds, which is all about healing through creation, using creative interests and endeavors and using our passions as ways to create a more fulfilling life for ourselves and heal ourselves from mental struggles that we might have. Those are kind of the topics that I talk about. Now, I did this last year where I just showed you all the art that I made and I shared my thoughts on that I feel really behind. I started my artist journey about, is it 4 years ago now? I think it's 4 years ago now. And I just feel like I have made so little art compared to other people and I feel so behind. And another year has gone by. And again, I feel like I have made so little art and I feel like I've done so little compared to other artists who are really developing their skills and making the art pieces that they want to make and all that kind of stuff. So, like last year, I'm gonna go through the things that I've painted this year, hopefully to see that I've made more than I thought, but also to kind of reconcile the fact that it's okay. It's okay that I haven't made a lot of art. It's okay that my pile of paintings is very low compared to others. I am exactly where I need to be in my artist journey, and I hope that this video can encourage you to find peace with yourself as well if you share similar thoughts. Now, before I start reviewing my actual work, I'm gonna give myself 2 very strict rules to stick to whilst I'm doing that. And I can highly recommend that if you at some point are going to do some kind of review of your own work for the last year, that you implement these rules as well, just to maintain a certain level of artistic self-respect and self-love. So the first one is, I'm allowed to give myself constructive criticism, but I'm not allowed to trash talk my own stuff, my own work. Simply because every piece that you make on this artistic journey is important. Also the bad stuff. The second rule I'm going to implement is to give myself at least one compliment or say one positive thing about every single piece, no matter how disappointed or how much I dislike it. Just to practice being better and kinder towards myself on this journey, because being a creative soul is really hard. Becoming better at a skill is really hard. And so every step of the journey needs to be acknowledged and deserves to be complimented, in my opinion. Let's go. It is actually the next day. I couldn't get myself to film the rest of the video yesterday. I just filmed the intro. Today we're getting to the good stuff, however. I thought what I was gonna do is categorize the different mediums that I like using. So I like oils, I like watercolor, I like painting furniture with chalk paint, and I like sketching and pencil drawings. So I thought I'm just gonna split them up in these 4 categories, and then I talk about what I created and how that went within the different categories. And see how that goes. First up, I thought I was gonna go through the pencil drawings. Now, I have a lot of journals with a lot of writing. I don't have sketchbooks. I do, however, have these things. So these, I don't know what they're called. I could call them a sketchbook, but they're filled with weird things. Not weird things, but they're filled with not just drawing related stuff. But I do have a couple of drawings in them. I practiced quite a few heads in this one this year, so I can show you that. But we can start out with this one, which I don't know why, I just adore drawing women from back in the day. Let's say it like that. Women in beautiful dresses from back in the day is my favorite subject. I don't draw them enough, but this is one of them, like a quick sketch. And so, I remember when I drew this one, it was like, oh, I'm just gonna spend an hour or so this morning just drawing this beautiful picture that I saw. And you know, the dress itself needs a lot of work. But since we're also complimenting, one thing I'm really pleased with in this one is the hand, of all things. Also, I wrote a quote here, which is, they could tell me how to paint their landscape, but they can't tell me how to paint mine. Which I think is really beautiful, how it just represents like, everyone can have input on your art, tell you how to do things, tell you how to create things, but at the end of the day, nobody can tell you or show you how to make the art that you want to make. So I thought that was a beautiful little quote that I'm happy I wrote down for myself. Next page, here we have a very interesting, not proportionate looking face with some doodles. After I drew that, I got really pissed off with myself. I think that I just, you know, I really wanted to put more time and effort into my portraits. So we're getting to that. Then I started practicing some waves with charcoal, I think. Then we have another woman in a dress. I really want to draw more of that in 2025, I think. I had so much fun with it. It just looks so classy. Here we have, it's kind of embarrassing to show you. But yeah, you know, I was trying to get that, like, it's so hard to draw portraits from when the angle is from down and looking up and getting the proportions right. I find that the absolute worst. It is so difficult. But yeah, I gave it a try. And there we have another portrait that I apparently didn't finish. With this one, I was so pleased with the outline, and then I started shading it in and I messed it up. But that's fine. That's okay. She's still, you know, if I'm pleased with anything, the hair, maybe the hair. Oh, this one, I could not for the life of me figure out her eyes. This one again, you have that chin situation going on. Ooh. But I think I'm pleased with at least like the expression or something like the expression of her, I think. This one, I didn't apparently finish her, but I remember when I drew her and I got to this point, I was really pleased with the proportions and making it look like a cohesive face. A face that could actually be a face. I remember that. I think you will see throughout this this video that I had a thing with faces this year. I have a lot of facial drawings, portraits. Then I was starting to brainstorm a watercolor portrait painting, and this is one of the first stages. Like, this was the idea. I wanted a girl. I wanted her face or her head to be a part of the ocean. Like, it didn't look like she was just swimming in the ocean. I really wanted it to look like she was the ocean. And I remember being really happy with her face, like the shading part. I felt like I managed to make her look really soft and really feminine. Oh yeah, this was my partner's into racing, so this was my first ever sketch trying to draw a motorcycle with my partner in it. That was hard, and I did this like publicly in on a racing track. There's a lot of other things in there, but that's more looking like that, you know? So, there we go. Now for the next one, I bought myself this new thick, I really like the paper on this one. So I bought that, I think, this summer or autumn. And so these pieces are from a live stream where I asked the lovely people in the chat if they wanted to give me prompts. And so I think one of them was a cat sitting on pancakes. And here, this one was supposed to be a dragon. It doesn't look like a dragon. And then we have this one, which I think is quite cute. Like, she's very sweet. Just a rabbit having a cup of tea with a butterfly. Why not? Then we have this one, 2 books, I don't know, freaking out over a cup of coffee that's falling or something. This is in August. So, let's see, we have a very weird looking face that did not go to plan. Then we have a llama with a cape and a mountain situation going on. Oh yeah, meerkats. This was from a prompt session that we had in our Discord. Like, sometimes we have voice calls or like that we chat together, and I had this kind of prompt situation going on there as well. And then the subject was a meerkat, and I don't really remember what what the prompt was for this one, but it ended becoming a snail with a fishbowl on it. Then we of course had my latest project, which was my tiny projects, my gifts of love, which also went through their sketching stage. And once the sketches were finished, they looked somewhat like this. We got the little doggies and the hedgehogs and the mouse and the squirrel and the tree and the girl, and overall, yeah, I had such a fun time painting so small. That's what I remember, because these sketches turned into paintings. And it was just so fun to work with small things. It somehow just removed all the pressure from it. That's like a huge lesson for me to take with me into the next year, is that you don't have to paint or create really big in order for something to be beautiful and spectacular. You can create spectacular things in the tiniest of ways. I think I also was pretty good at not finishing pieces this year. I have a lot of non-finished pieces. This one is almost finished. It's a ballerina. I really, like I said, I really enjoy women fashion from back in the days, but I also really enjoy just looking at beautiful pictures of ballerinas in the most beautiful costumes. That just brings me so much joy. And I just decided, like, I've never drawn it before, but now I'm just, I want to be able to draw it. So I gave it a try. And I think, like, even though it's not finished, I'm still pretty pleased with it. This last one I want to show you though, I think is one of my pride and joys for this year. I don't know why, it's just something, the way that I captured her expression and managed the shading and just managed to draw her overall gave me such a feeling of satisfaction and encouragement. Like, okay, I do have some skill. I do know how to draw. I do know how to finish pieces and make them look pretty, even with just a pencil. So yeah, this is definitely on my top 5 or even top 3 for this year. It's weird to allow myself to say that I'm proud of something. That is the thing that I really need to practice, is to look at a piece and say, you know what, I did that. It's not perfect in the sense of, you know, I'm sure there are proportions of things that could have been skill-wise, could have been better. But to be able to look at a piece and say, I'm proud of this. You know, I created that, I'm proud of it. Yeah, that's something I'm really trying to practice, something I can really recommend to practice as well. Giving yourself compliments, because I think giving ourselves compliments isn't just about like, oh, showering ourselves with positive words. I think being able to give ourselves pep talks and encourage ourselves to keep going is such an important skill to actually keep going with the things that you love, because those down phases where things go to crap, where you're not able to create what you want, there's gonna be so many moments of those. So in order to survive those, we need to be able to talk ourselves up and be able to tell ourselves the things that we're proud of, that we made happen, so that we have some energy to keep going. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, this was my selection of pencil sketches this year. Moving on. I thought, for a bit of scenery change, we'd go outside into my snowy garden whilst it's snowing to show you my oil paint pieces. Yeah, my oil painting pieces of this year. There aren't a lot of them, that's why I can do this outside. Also, I'm really upset because I just filmed this whole section of the oil painting pieces, and realized afterwards that I'd done so in slow motion. I guess I'll show you, I'll just show you a bit of it because it's hilarious. But, you know, now I have to film this all over again, which is not good. I think I either way just talked for too long for that section anyway, so maybe it was the universe giving me a sign that, hey, Frederike, just stick to the point. Because I sometimes, or very often, have a hard time sticking to the point. Anyway, first pieces. I joined Paint Coach his Paint Week course in September somewhere, and the result of that is one apple and lemon clay piece and real apple and lemon piece, or like the reference image were first of clay and then we did them in like still photo thing. Then there was a picture of a pond, and that's that one. And the reason why I'm not saying a lot more about them is because you know, the course was fun. But I was so upset with these paintings. It's ridiculous. I must have been hormonal that week or something, because I just, you know, I'm not gonna, yeah. We were not gonna be talking trash. When I look at them now, I'll just say, yeah, I did that. And it's good enough. It's good enough, right? So, we have these. In total, I created six oil painting pieces in 2024. 2 of them are not finished. So, you know, 2025 is going to be my oil painting comeback. Or should I say my oil painting proper debut, because I tried oil painting. I started it like a little over a year ago. That's when I tried it for the first time. I haven't really gotten into it yet. Maybe that's the problem. So, first piece that wasn't finished is this one. It's a wave. I really wanted to learn how to paint waves. And I quit. Obviously. I didn't finish it because I remember at the time I was again really upset with it. Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I know for myself that a theme for this last year, is that I've let anxiety and self-doubt get to me way too much. I have let it stop me so much this year, and it's upsetting. Like it has always stopped me, or not, it has always hindered me and like postponed things for me, anxiety and self-doubt. But this year I have allowed it to control my life in a way that is just, I'm really upset about it, that I let that happen. So, how do you call it? Goal for 2025, work on my fear, my self-doubt, do things anyway, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how you feel, do it anyway. Then we have the one piece that I am pleased with, and that is this big boy here. If you're new here, you haven't seen it, but I actually have an entire video dedicated to this one. That was a ride. I'll put it somewhere. This painting was a ride. I created it for my partner, who wanted something fantastical, something not whimsical, but like the atmosphere. He really wanted to feel the atmosphere, and I personally think I did a pretty good job with that. On to the last oil painting piece that isn't finished either, which I thought was going to be a quick project, because I thought, okay, you know, I'm just going to start this piece and I'm going to continue till it's finished. Lo and behold, I didn't do that. But here it is. I kind of, you know, my ego brain doesn't want me to show you this because I am so lost with it. I don't know what to do with it. Like this whole side here is gosh. And, yeah, but again, we weren't supposed to trash talk. So, but I shall finish her. I shall. So those were the those were the oil painting pieces. Now we're gonna go inside and have a quick look at the only 2 furniture pieces that I managed to make this year. I'm telling you, I've been in my own way too much this year. Need to work on that. I need to work on that. I need to work on that. And then do this. Whoop. There we go. Let's go inside. Before I sit down and show you, excuse me, we're going down the stairs. Before I sit down and show you the watercolor pieces that I made, I thought I might as well just, jeez, what's up with the lighting? Give me a second. I thought I'd show you, instead of like sitting still, I would show you the furniture pieces. There are only 2. So, out of the entire year of 2024, I only have 2 furniture pieces, and one of them isn't even done. But I'll show you anyway. Also, fun fact, the one that is finished is being sold today, which was a surprise. Suddenly somebody wanted it. Please don't mind the mess. This is our little, this room right here is like the summer room, so it's really cold in here during the winter. We can't really use it for other things than storage. It's one of these basic IKEA dressers that was white but like looked really used. And so I painted it green with a whole bunch of cherry blossoms. Now, I do think I overdid it a little bit with the flowers, but who cares? It is being sold today, so I even have flowers at the top. Then we have, the other one is even like completely hidden away. Okay, let's do this. Let's put you there, and then try to bury out, or not dig out, the other piece. got some big boxes going on. Oh, now I'm hitting it with a table. I definitely need to learn to take better care of the art pieces that I'm working on. This kind of feels disrespectful for the piece I want to show you. It's like literally covered in clutter. There we go. You can see parts of it at least. It's not finished, like I said. You can see it a little bit. Like the white stuff is the outline. But it's a girl blowing a dandelion in the wind. You will probably be seeing this one in the next year when I choose to finish it. So these were the two. Let's go look at the watercolors. We're back in my little art studio. Also, I forgot to mention, it's a completely different day. I think I've like spent 2 weeks now filming this video, or like filming it at separate days, and been postponing and being, gosh, I have no idea if anyone can relate to it, but I procrastinate so much, especially when I'm stressed or I'm anxious and these kind of things. And like every task takes me so long. It's embarrassing. So this video has taken me way longer than the couple of minutes that you have seen it, obviously. But yeah, for the watercolor paintings, again, there isn't much. But I wasn't gonna trash talk myself, so it is what it is. This is what I made this year, and it's okay. I'll just try to do better next year. I think a big deal for me this year was that I really wanted to learn how to paint watercolor portraits. So I started getting better at the portraits, but I'd never actually tried painting portraits with watercolor. So I started that. So basically, I only have watercolor portraits to show you. The first one I ever painted was this one. I don't remember when this was. I think it was back in March or something. Again, I keep forgetting to put dates on things, which is stupid. I should at least put 2024 in it. Well, this was the first ever watercolor portrait that I made. And I just remember, I tried to approach it not thinking that it was a portrait, because the thought of a watercolor portrait was so daunting that it kind of, it froze me from doing it all together. So I had to just look at it and approach it as kind of an abstract kind of painting, and just use my color knowledge and shading and these kind of things to put it together, or to like create it. And I think that strategy did work, because I ended up with, there's a lot to say about this one, but it is a face. You can see that it's a face, at least. So after the first one, I created this one, which I remembered just for being the second watercolor portrait piece. I was really, really happy with it, especially like the lighting and the shading, and how I managed to use the different colors as a way to highlight her features, something like that. But yeah, I remember being really happy with her, and also just getting the realization that if you learn basic skills within the arts, you'll be surprised to see how much that translates into everything you create. Like, I've been working with watercolors and learning how to blend them, and most of the pieces that I've ever created is kind of a mix of like landscapey, and I'm looking around because I'm looking at the pieces that I made. Landscapey, it's not been portraits, but I just noticed that just the basic knowledge that I have about lighting, about watercolor, about how to shade things and how to blend colors, I had way more knowledge than I thought I would when I started these watercolor paintings. Then I painted this ginormous watercolor painting, which I spent so much, I think like I spent 6 months trying to figure this thing out. Not the painting itself, but practicing for it, figuring out the composition. It's the painting that was based off of the head in the ocean drawing that you saw at the beginning somewhere. That sketch was meant for this painting. And sadly, the painting did not turn out the way I wanted. I think this one was like the biggest learning curve and also the biggest bummer. Like, I was so upset that after all this work and all this time I'd put into it, it just did not look the way I wanted it to. But there's more to that story, but let's show you first. It's this massive kind of thing. I had definitely underestimated how difficult it is to paint big with watercolor. Like this size, just look at me. It's humongous in my opinion. I'd never painted this big before. Like even my oil painting, the biggest oil painting that I have isn't this big. So that was a challenge. The biggest bummer was that the whole package, like the whole thing, did not feel right. It didn't give me the feeling I was after. But that just goes to show that if you don't give up when you have an experience like that, beautiful things can come to fruition. Because I finished this painting, this massive painting, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna paint for God knows how long, because this was just, I was just upset. But I gave myself a couple of weeks. And then I was like, oh, I can't let this go. I was still like this itch of, okay, this feeling that I want to portray in a portrait. I haven't gotten it yet. And I was like, I need to get it out somehow. I just want to make it happen. And so I did. And the result was my favorite piece of this year. What I ended up realizing was that the size of the other one was too big. It was also vertical. And for this piece that I'm about to show you, I tried horizontal, and I also tried a different color palette. And it just, the result was my pride and joy of this year. And it's, oh, I'm making a hole in my pant. It's this one. I have even framed it. That says a lot that I framed my own painting. Because I usually never do that. But this is the kind of painting that I'm willing to put up on my own wall. And that's weird to say. But yeah, I'm so proud of her. Like, again, what I've also realized, a piece doesn't have to be skillfully correct or skillfully perfect. Skillful is probably not the right word, but I hope you get what I mean. It doesn't have to be skillfully perfect to get the atmosphere or the feeling that you want. I see now all the technical stuff I could have done better, but it doesn't matter. I love her anyway. She is exactly how she's meant to be. Her name is Serenity. And yeah, I really wanted to capture the feeling of inner peace. Either way, I hope you like it. Also, I made a video dedicated to the entire process of these two. So if you want to check that out, feel free. I'll put like a card or something, or put it in the description. The last pieces are very underwhelming. I had this one. I was well on the way on really liking her, but then I messed up the flowers and I put some gold on the dress that I really didn't like. But if you look like up close, oh, that's too close apparently. But like if you do like that, she's okay. I like her. Again, it's a portrait. Or like when you hold it like that, it's a portrait. And then we have a little autumny themed pumpkin patch thingy. Yeah. Something that I also really enjoyed. Oh, and of course I have my tiny paintings. I can like, well, if you're newer, you haven't seen it of course, so I can put it like up, because I don't have them anymore. I've sold all of them. And yeah, but I do have footage of them, so I'll put it, yeah, whilst I'm talking now, you're probably seeing it. Oh, before I go, these are oil painting projects that I started. This is like a, what do you call it, a mock-up, or like the resign method. I tried that. So this will definitely be a project for this new year. And then I have an even bigger project going on, but that is probably even harder for you to see what that is. But it's an ocean situation with a portal and a ship. So if you're curious to see when and if I do something about it or with it, feel free to stick around. I think this video is more than long enough, so I should end this. Yeah, this is my last video of 2024, which is insane to think about. This year has gone so fast, but here we are. It's the end. We're starting a new one. I have a lot of exciting plans and ideas and so much art and so much stuff I want to show you and bring you along with. This year, my focus is going to go from still being in the healing mindset, but also adding a bit of growth to it. I really want to learn to navigate and become the captain of my own ship. So that is going to be... That's bam bam. Where was I? Talking about that I really want to become learn to become the captain of my own ship, with this, which is quite a daunting but also exciting thought. So healing and growth, a lot of art, a lot of challenges, a lot of what should I say? A lot of beautiful Norwegian scenery and experiences, and hopefully a lot of road trips, and yeah, those kind of things. Those are gonna be filling my channel for 2025, I think, and I hope deeply that that sounds exciting to you and that it's something that you'd like to come along for, you know? Either way, if you've been here for a while, or even if this is the first time that you're watching and you enjoyed it, that means the absolute world to me. This little A Traveler of Worlds community has become so much more to me than I ever thought it could or would. There are almost 1,300 people here, and to me that is an insane number of people who are willing to watch these kind of things that I do and make. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful, and I hope that you have a beautiful entry into the new year. I hope that this year will bring you all the things and will give you all the experiences that you long for. And of course, it's important to remember that life has its ups and downs. Life is a roller coaster. We will have our bad times, but if there's one thing that is certain, is that things will always change and the good moments will always return and become even better than we ever thought they could. So yeah, I'm saying that because it's an important reminder for me as well, because when things are dark and when things suck, it's really hard to remember that it won't stay that way. But the fact is that it won't. This darkness won't stay, it won't stick, it will always change and become something better. I truly believe that. If you're looking for a very sweet and creative community, we have a Discord server where a beautiful bunch of people love interacting and talking and sharing art and sharing thoughts and sharing experiences. It's really a beautiful and loving place. So I invite you to join us there. The link is in the description. And yeah, I will see you in the new year. That is so exciting to say. Okay, bye everyone. I will see you again very soon.